So then I just start hitting them with a brick.
Almost forgot to mute the stream on my end, so that way everyone get the excellent double echo. What does it mean?
Brick it now.
Brick it. Okay. Hi, everyone.
What's it with you and bricks?
Ass Blast USA!
Yes, quite.
Not to be confused with the Ice Blasters from the Trevor series.
Ooh!
My God.
I have no response.
I shall not dignify that with an answer.
How are you guys?
Oh,
Is
it's been
anyone
too
watching the stream
I've
right
been
now?
better.
Oh dear. Well, you're not. You make you
Hi.
feel better. Murder
Being
hoboing.
tortured by the Inquisition.
I mean, I thought you were into that.
Oh my.
I'm getting an
I
echo from
am-
someone.
Okay.
Not it.
Not
Not
it.
it.
Oh,
Not
no, the
it.
echo's gone now. Oh, no, it's Caitlin again.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Can you hear it?
Testing, testing. Nope, it's gone now. I have no idea what's wrong. Oh well, we're up.
Put your headphones on, baby.
I'm wearing my headphones.
Yeah, that's the strange thing. I know she wears them, but still sometimes get echo. It's weird. Oh well. Oh,
That is weird.
I've had to like put my microphone all the way up above my head.
you need to work out how to lower the gain on that thing. Ah well, it's all good. Anyway, so last time on, I actually didn't think of an anime intro. Fuck. Oh well, carrying on.
The blood of goats.
The blood of goats. Yes, that's what we'll go with. The blood of goats.
Radio.
You escaped the planet.
Planet escaped.
You the bloodstorm stopped. You got only mildly interrogated by the members of the Adeptus Custodians.
They scared the shit out of us.
Yep.
Velvety interrogation. I could feel
Solomon
the
Victoria had
velvet
a
in my soul.
Solomon had a fangirl moment, as you do,
As you do.
and
Reasonable.
we left you off on the brig.
Wanted my dog. He's just a dog.
It was a good dog.
My dog.
It's a turbo doggo.
I will fight you.
Speed dog.
Excuse me. Okay, so it takes a few minutes for Solomon to regain his cool after having his fangirl moment with the Adeptus Custodians and the Sisters of Silence. However, as to be expected, the Custodian Shield Captain Kane has taken the relic which you were sent to acquire.
Who is rustling?
That is me trying to find a percentile dice in my box of dice that I should have gotten out before we started.
Just so, like, I hear a whole lot of rustling.
Yeah,
Magical pit of dice.
Facts, and they're not
I've got
shared.
like 12 sets of D&D dice here.
Ooh. Oh my.
I like-
Fucking
I-
to me. That's why I need to show you all of my dice.
I just like collecting dice.
Come into my room.
Anyway.
I'm gonna show you all my wares.
Okay. So Solomon takes a seat back down in his captain's chair and goes, "So, do you want the good news or the bad news?"
Why don't you start with the bad news so we can start with the good news afterwards to make us feel better?
The bad news is we're able. Artyom's recovered by the looks of it, and he's now ready to communicate with the with the Inquisitor.
Hmm.
And the good news?
Nope, there's no good news. I just thought I'd say. I thought there would be, but there isn't.
You have disappointed me.
Oh, I disappoint many people.
Figured as much.
Not like that, you pervert.
I was not implying anything of that nature.
he just kind of rolls back in his chair. What
Always
message?
applies things of that nature. Don't
What?
listen to him.
What message would you like to send to our good Inquisitor Harpak? And I shall get that reiterated to our new astropath.
I would like to step forward with what is now a comprehensive, what's it called?
Report.
Overview? Collection of all the events that transpired. with
I
all
don't
the-
think that could be transferred by
Can
a,
I? He just puts his hand up and goes, "Oh, can you summarize it in 20 words or less?"
Oh fuck! It's a telegraph. God damn it!
Situation stabilized, objectives changed, Adeptus Custodes intervention.
Ooh, that was 20 words or less. Very good. Very good. Okay, he goes onto his communique and goes, could the lovely security guards watching over Artyom who's found his way to the brig send him to the requisite area of the ship for him to send a message to our good friend the Inquisitor. And he just cuts off the signal. I imagine that'll take maybe an hour before we get at least a reliable call back with his coordinates. So why don't you guys, I don't know, rest up a little bit and see what you want to do. Okay, 1 second, I just got to take a phone call, sorry.
It's
I
okay.
can't
It's
believe
okay.
it. So,
I have some
what do
shopping
you
to do when
guys-
we have the opportunity.
Well, funny you should mention it. I
Mhm.
have a plan to look through something too. Victus,
Huh.
would you mind accompanying me?
I'm not sure I'm going to be the best company for shopping with, but sure.
Good. Thank you.
Hmm.
And brother, what do you plan to do with this free time?
I would probably see into performing some modifications on our newly acquired asset, and then restock some of the supplies.
Interesting.
Solomon just kind of grins and goes, well, as you know, I am very well supplied, as it were. He just looks and goes, I also take IOUs, because I know you haven't been paid yet.
That would be agreeable.
So,
Mr. Victoria,
sorry, I couldn't hear you over the mechanical keyboard just then. Sorry.
that was
Apologies.
me. Mr. Victoria,
Yes.
quick question. Do you have a trader on board who would be able to trade in certain biologically, how you say, compatible electronic parts?
Oh, he sits in his chair and sorry, I've just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Well, could you just repeat what you was after? Sorry, I just need to.
It's okay.
I am looking for something in terms of biologically compatible electronic part. Specifically voice modulators, if you will.
Oh, okay. He's a bit quirky, but you probably want to speak to Engine Seer Octavian for that.
Engine Seer Octavian. Where will I find him?
He points to a location on the ship's kind of like "You Are Here" map that's located on the brig. Because he has that, because he's extra like that. And to ping it on here, he will be located where I've just pinged on the map there.
Sorry, there, right, okay. So here,
Yes.
okay.
I know.
Okay.
So,
If you want to go there, does anyone else want to ask any questions to
Solomon?
Sorry, I'm blanking completely at the moment. Any questions or any requests that you might have to the good captain or anything like that?
I think my character would just like to go back to his room and continue his comport run.
Understandable.
Victus is just sort of standing around looking awkward and probably going to be following after
Paris.
Carapé. Corsa B.
Well, if that's
What?
You heard me.
I would like to position a request for a set of heavy clothing for the members of our team who are not so fortunate with the biological enhancements, seeing how the next assignment might take us to a frozen world.
I overheard your conversation with one of the engines here. You know what? Give me a good hour, and I'll get you. I'll get you some warm weather clothing for next to. You know what? You can have that one on me. I feel like it's appreciated. He looks.
Splendid.
He looks. It was Keone, wasn't it? You wanted to go to.
Yes, that would be correct.
Hypothetical question: how much of your? He's looking at the two tech priests in front of him. How much of your body is mechanical, and do you have any like regular skin attached to your cybernetics?
Hypothetical
Now that's
answer.
really asking.
Hypothetical answer. Regularly, the initiate tech priest has about 60 to 40% of the total skin surface intact. However, we do have potential coils that might compensate for the lack of ambient temperature.
Alternatively, if you were planning to buy dinner beforehand, perhaps we could show you.
He says like, nah, I do have a kind, loving other, to say the least. But my biggest concern is that planet you're intending on going on is a literal frozen wasteland, and I can't imagine that would be good for the joints between your skin and your cybernetics without some
Correct.
prep work. So,
Correct. We would require additional thermal insulation were we not to overload our inbuilt reactors.
given that Keone is quite a distance away from this location, it's probably going to be at least 2 standard weeks of warp travel before we even arrive at the correct location.
Affirmative.
What I'll do is I will talk to a couple of the engineers in the medical bay, and they should be able to sort you out with some cold weather protection, just so y'all aren't getting frostbite now. Anyway,
Much appreciated. Any enhancements would be beneficial in this assignment.
it's just I am a concerned overseer, as it were.
And we thank you for this.
Okay. Y'all got anything else you want to ask, or are you going to leave me alone now?
That will be all.
So I'm assuming you guys start leaving the brig, the bridge. As you start leaving, he just goes, "Hold up, you."
Yes.
You.
What is it?
Forgotten. Kadachan. Not Kadachan. Fuck.
Me,
Cadian.
Cadian. Sorry, getting things mixed up. Everyone
didn't say cat
I
name.
do have the rippling abs, but no.
Everyone
unfortunately
else, continue leaving. You stay here a minute.
Very
Paris
well.
is actually going to stay by the door because she's actually waiting to, you know, carry out some business with our boy.
Okay.
not. Oh no, I'm being kidnapped.
Okay. So he closes the doors, separating you guys. Like, he just looks at you and goes, "What's your stress?
My stress.
You look like you're about to have a heart attack. What's up?"
Well, I just got personally escorted via a custodian of all people.
Yes,
to
but
another room.
before he interrupts, before that, you was locking yourself in the brig.
I made some agreements with the good lord. Our friendly inquisitor asked me to achieve certain parameters whilst we were down planet side, and I systematically failed to do so.
Do you want some life advice, kid?
Hmm.
You have just been given a free pass by the only person in the world that outranks our pack. You need to relax.
What about Lord Inquisitor?
You are correct. I believe nothing short of a message from the throne itself would have held a higher Have you?
You know, for someone, he may have wanted a private word for you, but you do know that there's cameras everywhere on this ship.
Mm-hmm.
I have an actual recording of what he said to you. I'll make sure it's handed to Harpak personally.
Still, Harpak is gonna need more. Well, he's gonna ask a lot of me, and I made a lot of agreements that I'm still going
He's
to
a hard
likely abide
ass.
by.
I know, but guess
He
what?
does his job. That's what's
You
important.
know what he does though. You know what he respects though. He does respect the custodians, especially that one in particular.
Good.
Not the first time he's come into the grace of of Shield Captain Kane, and honestly, I think if any other custodian, he probably would have still flipped his shit at you, but with this one, I think he'll let it slide. Trust me.
Well, true. Thank you.
Not to worry. Oh, I've had one of my colleagues leave some high quality Amasec in your room. That one's on me.
Thank you.
Dismissed.
Next time I'm on a surface and I see something similar, I'll be sure to return the favor.
He's just laughing at you. I don't drink. It's not my style.
Well, I'll find what your fancy is eventually.
By any chance, would there be any possibility of her hearing any of?
Make a perception test. Do you have the? I know you have one of the special perceptions. Do you have it on hearing? I can't remember.
No, I only have it on sight.
Okay, do it at a -15 roll. I'm gonna say the doors are quite thick, but they're not like airtight shut. So.
No, I hear nothing.
Sorry, 1 second. Yep, you got nothing.
Yeah.
And the door opens.
Oh, hey. So, what was it you wanted to buy?
Sorry. I was primarily looking for your assistance in picking out a new voice modulator for myself.
Why me? Isn't that more you and your brothers sort of thing?
Well, I'm kind of looking for something that sounds a bit more, how do you say, approachable.
Human.
You see,
Wow.
I understand that Melvin himself has not had too much in the way of human interaction, and my brother and I are more predisposed to pick certain options that may not seem that appealing towards my patients or colleagues.
I mean, I'm not sure if there is a mechanical option to replace the glory of the Terran flesh, but, well, we'll have a look.
Thank you.
I think we'll go straight. If you're going to that engine here, you can go. I'll say we'll carry on with you and go straight there if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we walk down to go see the engine seer.
Okay. Oh god, I tried practicing a voice for this one, but it just kept coming off terrible. So. Okay, so you reach the room that Solomon has pointed you towards, and it is a closed door, but it appears to be occupied.
Parus lightly knocks on the door, just to be polite.
Okay. As you tap on the door, it just basically instinctively and reflexively opens like you've commanded it to.
Oh. She just kind of slightly peeks her head in, looks around.
It's a fairly well-stocked room. It's got many different varieties of electrical equipment, cybernetic attachments and upgrades, and inside stands one tech priest. He's not facing towards you, but he's wearing the standard typical red robes. He's standing about human height, as typical average human height, so about 5'11", 6 foot in stature, and he looks quite scrawny.
Okay. Yeah, I guess then Paris is going to walk in, and of course gesture for Victus to follow her.
Hmm.
And she's gonna try and like get his attention by saying, "Greetings, brother."
He kind of just like reflexively and overly enthusiastically spins round.
You can literally hear the spine crack.
Are we talking his head literally goes up?
No,
Mating?
his whole body.
Oh, okay.
His whole body. He
He's
Alright,
spins
it's not the
round.
Exorcist.
His-
It's not the Exorcist, no.
You see his robe. His kind of is not fully closed. You can see that he's a very odd kind of Mechanicus. He's very all his cybernetics are very thin and very spindly.
Okay.
He's but he has not fully replaced his face yet, and he's still got a bit of a smile being seen through all and underneath all the connecting pipes and coolants and all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
It's
so
like-
when you say like his robe is open, is it all just like mechanical stuff we're seeing?
It is
We're not
fu-
seeing any skin.
It is fully mechanical.
Okay, good. He's not.
He's not
flashing.
flashing, you know. I feel like I should have specified that.
I mean that is the Mechanicus equivalent of flashing, so
Yeah.
Gaze upon my marvelous
He
argument.
just
Yeah,
kind of.
good.
So we walked in on a flash.
Apologies, I thought I sealed this door. How may I help you today?
Sorry.
That's a different bit of a note.
It's quite musical.
number.
I am sorry to disturb you. Did we disturb you whilst you were in the middle of something? And she gestured to his robe.
He kind of seals himself and says, I am sorry, I was performing regular scheduled maintenance. It has not been done for some time due to the activity on the ship. I apologize for my indecency.
Right. Yeah, the insurrection we heard about.
Yes.
That cost quite a few staff.
Many died, but alas, there were no members of the Mechanicus that was harmed in the event, so really it was not of major loss.
Praise the Omnisire, I guess.
Praise the Omnisire. Now, how may I help you today?
I was hoping to pick up a new voice modulator. Do you have any in stock?
Even though he had most of his face is covered, you can see a smile occur on what remains of his skin. It's like, yes, this is voice and other sound-based equipment is one of my specialties. What kind of voice would you be interested in replacing your current version?
I suppose I am looking for something that would be seen as a little bit more appealing to my more fleshy cohorts.
Is this all going on in binary?
No, they're speaking
No,
regular. 'Cause
yeah, it's just modem noises.
he's doing it in courtesy because Victus is there.
Which is just sort of standing there cross-armed, looking like,
just imagine.
I'm
the
confused as
conversation.
to why I'm here.
He just kind of like crosses his arms and goes, curious, why would you want to sound closer to the meat bags?
Speak for
My
yourself.
primary function is that of a medical officer, and I am aware of how unsettling my voice has appeared towards those who aren't inducted into the cult Mechanicus.
Understandable. The meatbags are not aware of the glorious perfection that is of the Mechanicus. I am sure I will be able to assist with you. Please, do you wish me to install, or do you just want me to provide the equipment?
I would like to see if I could try out a few first before I go ahead with installation.
Very, very well. He kind of just slides across the room very gracefully, and then starts pulling open a few drawers, and plays it and goes to his front desk and places basically 4 selections of voice modulator. And goes, these are the ones that I feel would be most appropriate to what you desire. However, due to the nature of what you're after, quality varies based on what you can afford.
Okay. I currently have around 267 thrones on me right now.
He picks up one and goes, this one here would cost 106 thrones, and I believe it is the most value for money that I can offer if you would like to test.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna like briefly input it in, like kind of like replace it with the one she's currently using. I should mention, whilst this is going on, what she's going to have to do is she is going to have to remove the kind of like bar that's around her neck. And you will then see that most of her neck is actually you'll see this too, Victor's. Most of her neck, it's like some of it is metal, but some of it is flesh, and there seems to be a certain compartment where her voice box would be, and she kind of removes her current voice modulator from there.
Well, you think just the response to this absolutely fine? It's just like, huh.
It's not gruesome looking.
I was gonna say
It's actually pretty cleanly done.
I was gonna say you've
like
seen
it's been done by a professional.
Much worse on corpses in the past missions, so I thought you wasn't gonna need to do that.
I was just doing it for flavour to see whether or not he'd just be like, ooh,
Okay.
That's weird.
You've probably seen tech priests.
It's one thing when it's dead, it's another thing when it's moving and doing it to itself.
Yeah, it's a bit different though, in that you might notice this is quite different from her own brother's setup. So you might have some questions regarding that. But
he kind of thinks everyone's a unique build, so he's kind of okay with that.
Fair enough. And yeah, she's gonna input in the modulator and try and tune it.
As you install the
what happens and what does it sound like?
Your modulator is... This is basically what
My name is Stephen Hawkins.
Best described as significantly refined compared to what you have. It's a lot more... It's still got that slight metallic sound in the voice, but you're able to generate your voice a lot smoother with a lot less pauses in it. So you can,
it's
you have
kind of a bit more like a radio presenter.
Yeah, it's Alistair from Has Been Hotel. You've got that kind of reverb on it, but you're able to convey your sentences very smoothly.
Does it have it? Sorry. Does it have any accents or anything to it?
I think this one is. I will let you decide that. I say it's a good enough quality that you can adjust it to whatever degrees that you fancy, but you won't be able to ever remove that the slight metallic sound. You know how it's like Detran when he spoke, he was very clear. This one, it's still you can speak in a very consistent way, but the metal sound's not going to go away.
Right. Okay.
I'm
sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm actually going to do that. Hello, everybody. You're dealing with fucking voice acting.
It's not easy, I know, but
oh, that's different. What a different voice you got there.
I'm just sorry. I'm just currently trying to figure this out myself.
Don't worry. Like, as you're fucking about, probably Vic just be like sitting there going like, huh.
I like to imagine while she's tuning it, it's through all sorts of different voices. Like it's gone.
It's probably right, yeah.
Is it bad I can't help but think all Mechanicus now speak as the voices from Mechanicus, the game? Of course, I can live with that.
They do have good voices in that.
It's fucking good voices.
Incidentally, hello. If any members of the team that are behind Warhammer 40K Mechanicus, Hello to you all. And why are you
Welcome
here?
back to another one of our
We're-
terrible games. Please, keep
Hello.
Do enjoy yourselves.
Okay.
We need to make a full Dark Heresy team where every one of us are tech priests and we go into a Necron tomb. I'm just saying.
Brother, do you have something that I can read out? So, not you, as in the
Oh.
tech priest.
Hmm.
So that I can properly test this out.
He just looks and goes, I forgot the voice I was doing now. I've always kind of winged it. Maybe you could try singing the song of your people.
May I
I do not
suggest that we
believe-
take the safety briefing we took last time aboard the ship?
I do not believe now calls for some binary chanting.
He just starts like muttering prayers to the
1001 1001 00110.
Huh.
he
Sounds a
just
bit
kind of
better.
he just gives you the thumbs up.
It certainly sounds a bit more emotive. What do you think, Victor?
I mean, it's a little less grating. Still got that kind of tang, but it's less the voice and the application of it. Okay, so say I have a major bleeding artery and you're trying to keep me alive, but it's not looking good. How do you explain that to me?
You're going to
You
die.
bitch!
You are dead.
Listen. Shut up, I'm trying to think.
Sorry. Sorry.
Well, in such a circumstance, it's never quite easy to fully explain. I suppose I would calmly try to explain the situation and what I was going to do to try and fix the situation, rather. Does that help any, Victus?
Yes, actually. I was concerned you're about to tell me that my percentage of likelihood of survival was low or something to that degree that you Mechanicus types like to stick to.
Oh, don't worry. I am rather trained in communication towards, well, as I said, those who aren't inducted into the cult Mechanicus.
Right.
I
Well,
don't mean to always come off as rather creepy. I feel there has been some communication error, if you will, in terms of the way my previous voice has portrayed my mood. I think you will find that I am actually rather a humorous person.
Victus just goes to say something, halts himself, pats you on the head, and said, "This voice is fine. So is the last one. It's more some time to get used to you. It's understandable that the average citizenry that doesn't see Mechanicus individuals very often, especially in a time of stress, wouldn't,
I suppose this kind of came to the forefront of my concerns, primarily when my brother, not you, that is, she turns to the other tech priest,
He's
But
in his own world.
but my actual biological brother pointed out that, well, my current voice is a bit stock standard, if you will.
well, I can understand trying to be different and have a flair for yourself, so I can't fault you there. But more on the topic of, well, making people feel comfortable. Back in training, there was this rookie who he had trained with a group medic pretty much every day, and then one day a live fire exercise goes wrong, and he's got a slug to the chest, and he's still kicking and screaming against someone he's seen every day. It's not a matter of your voice or how you pitch it; it's a matter of how the person handles the stress. So don't
I
beat yourself
suppose.
up too much about it. The question really is, do you like this?
I've never really had any other voice. The voice modulator that I have previously been using was picked for me by someone else.
Well, the more reason to pick your own then. Go, get yourself some identity. Pick it for yourself.
Aw.
I have a bucket for an identity now.
We hear that in the distance.
I have become Bucket. That's all I am.
Thank you, Victus. I think it was a optimal choice to take you with me.
Just gotta try and keep morale up, that's all.
Thank you. It means a lot. And she's going to turn to the tech priest. And with her old voice modulator in her hand, she's going to quickly say to him, "Do you do any trade-off deals on old parts?"
May I please inspect your old modulator, if that is okay?
Of course. And she hands it over to him. I'm now having to put my hands in front of my face a whole.
Excuse me. He looks at it and he doesn't quite pull it apart, as just lift up as many of the smaller panels just so he can get a better see inside of it. Goes, very interesting. Unusual, but very rudimentary. Very effective, efficient in generation.
It was hand-picked out by the Magos biologists that I used to work under.
It must have taken a strong liking to you in order to handpick something so unstandard. Interesting. Due to my curious nature, I propose that I am willing this time to go for a full exchange rather than charge you, because I am interested in the construction of this device.
Thank you then, brother. I hope you have a pleasant day then.
Likewise to you, sister. And remember, I am always open to a fellow member of the Mechanicus.
As soon as
Praise
you
the
left, he's going
Omnissiah,
to.
and have an optimal day.
Likewise, praise the Omnissiah.
And yeah, she's gonna step out. Vic.
I can just imagine him just taking and inserting your voice modulator and speaking with your voice for a moment.
It's just like, sister, why has this guy got your voice?
Wouldn't he just be like, well, you did say it was bog standard.
Okay, so we will move to someone else. So, I'm assuming Osiron is with Melvin, correct?
Correct.
You okay, dude?
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
I'm assuming you are both in your room, unless you wanted to do something else.
Yes, I think we're both scanning through the entirety of the files.
Okay. So, let's see. I had something written for you guys earlier. 1 second. Okay. So, you enjoy the comfort of your VIP suite. And by VIP, I mean it has 2 beds rather than 1.
That is always welcome.
You get a knock on the door after a brief moment after about, you're probably alone for about 20 minutes, and then you receive a knock on the door.
Yes. Who's there?
You just hear from the other side, a kind of faint because the doors are fairly well sealed. It's a member of the medical staff.
Do come in, and I command the door to open if I do have the facilities to do so.
You do. You command the
Great.
door to open, and I think you guys bumped into him last session, if I remember right.
The guy that preferred working on the dead?
Yes.
The one.
Yes. He, do,
Greetings.
he doesn't look. He doesn't look unhappy. He just looks very indifferent at this point. With the expression on his face, he's fairly mellowed out. It's like, he goes. He just comes in. I believe you are the ones that are responsible for the agent that has been brought under our care. Correct?
That would be correct, yes.
Understandable. So, as I believe you have been informed of her current condition. Also correct?
That would not be entirely correct. We do know that she is in critical condition and currently is deposited in cryostasis. But that is the entirety of our knowledge.
It appears you people aren't in charge of her then, as much as I thought. He just he says, I suppose then you aren't as important to this individual's well-being as I initially assessed.
We were tasked with the retrieval of the agent, not as much with news of her current condition. We do not know what significance she might have or what information she might possess. However, as a baseline level of caring, we have retrieved her and stabilized her to the best of our ability.
Excuse me, sir.
So sister is the one who's the medic.
Sorry, I'm just thinking.
Racist, thinking all tech boys look alike.
I do have an octopus with me.
He just tries to ignore it as much as he can.
The octopus looks at him from the bucket.
I forgot about the bucket.
Yeah.
You got it in a fucking bucket.
Maybe we need a larger container.
We do need a
No,
tank.
the bucket is optimal.
That would be a matter to settle later.
He just goes. He just, before he regains his cool. Fortunately, she is currently still alive, and there are means of performing a level of surgery on her brain that may or may not restore her to a cognitive state.
I would like to relay that to Parus and to call her to the quarters, seeing how she might be more qualified to deal with such matters.
I guess I'm heading there next then.
Okay.
I hope it works.
Sister.
She might be able to fill out some of the blank parts
Yes,
of my
brother.
report.
Sister, there might be some information that you might find relevant concerning our
Subject.
guest. Yes.
You mean the agent? I'm
Correct.
on my way right now.
Correct. Thank you.
If they're doing that, can I make my way down to the armory somewhat?
Sure, go ahead.
So, whilst they're shenaniganing, just tell me when it's free time for me to go do some gun shopping.
We'll get to you very shortly, okay?
Oh, boy.
Thank you once again for your accompaniment, Victus.
Not a problem. No, I got some shopping of my own to do. Go deal with the, that.
Will do. Have a pleasant day.
Likewise.
And she is going to meet up with her brother Melvin.
Okay. After a couple minutes walking around the ship, you see the man that once I'm assuming you would assume has rudely bumped into you earlier.
Oh, it's you. How can I assist you?
How have you been? I've been pretty busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
After you murdered.
Dear Lord.
I think it's some kind of reference to something I don't get.
402.
I
Yeah,
know, that was in character.
Oh,
you put
You
me in
goddamn
a
punk!
potato.
I'm deft. Sorry. That was out of character.
He just says, I assume you are the one in charge of this particular patient?
That is correct.
He goes, he turns to you and pulls out basically his noteboard with a series of scribbles. He goes, it would seem that there is an alternative methods of potentially reviving the subject. However, as alternative goes, it is more or less experimental at this point. A refined version of surgery that may reconnect the severed neurons in her brain.
Parus is going to look through these. Especially taking careful, notice of certain notes.
You
Who
basically,
develops this?
it would be myself.
I see. I thought you preferred working on the dead ones, because they don't talk so much.
The dead ones don't exaggerate what's wrong with them. However, the ones that are perpetually unconscious are also tolerable.
Not much of a people person, are we?
You seem to have a very specific taste, don't you?
I don't enjoy it when patients exaggerate what's wrong with them.
I have a bucket.
Right. Well, I suppose the main concern is, how risky is this procedure of yours?
Based on previous attempts and experimentation, I predict an approximate 68% chance of success, and she regains cognitive function within 1 to 2 weeks. If there is around a 30% chance that nothing of major injury will occur, perhaps some minor tissue or scar and tissue damage, but nothing beyond that. And the remainder percentage is a result of the complete termination of the patient.
Query, if I may. How many of the similar procedures have you already performed?
17.
I see, so this isn't exactly...
How many of them were successful?
Something new.
It is new in the sense that... excuse me. It is new in the sense that it is not... sorry, let me try and rephrase what he's trying to say. It is new in the sense that the medical experimentation and procedure practice has not reached a 90% success rate. I would not call it anything other than experimental unless I have achieved that threshold.
I suppose my main question then, though, is, what is the percentage likelihood of her recovering without this experimental treatment of yours?
Although I have never operated on a patient that has similar condition to what you have an absolute 100% identical situation of the patient you have provided. However, I would assume, based on my extensive research of similar subjects and my own similar patients, around approximate 2% chance of survival within the next 3 years.
Right. She's just currently doing all of the calculations in her head.
Processing.
You can hear all the dial tone.
So, as you're inferring, the patient has a 30% likelihood of staying in the current state, a 68% likelihood of recovering, and 2% likelihood of a lethal case. Is that correct?
Correct.
Then from a practical standpoint, there is very little reason not to perform the experimental surgery.
Like the dial tone stops and... I concur with my brother's calculations. May I ask, is there any particular reason you didn't bring this to our attention beforehand?
It would be likely that the person that stated the reason might require some of your medical proficiency, sister.
He just interrupts. Negative. Normally I would perform the operation without question. However, due to the particular nature of this agent being a member of a certain organization you find yourselves part of, I feel like it is important to start asking the question of those responsible for her safety, and then rather than you finding out while I'm halfway through my surgery and interrupting.
I see. Though it was mainly a concern in regards to when I had previously asked for all medical officers on deck. You did turn up late, and I had been around to the very end, so this could have been brought to my attention a lot sooner. Though I suppose I suppose it's better now than later.
He just
Will you be requiring my assistance with this operation?
he just kind of looks you up and down, kind of like examines your mechadendrite and thinks, certainly more capable than most of the staff on this vessel.
I assure you, I am very well versed.
Tell me, what do you have any experience performing cranial surgery?
I've basically I've mainly dealt with cranial surgery in the terms of inputting new, how we say,
Augmentations?
Hardware.
hardware. Exactly. Sorry, I'm still currently processing this new voice modulator.
I know. I noticed it seemed different from before. He thinks and goes, based on that assessment, it does increase the number of doctors capable of performing such surgery from 3 to 4. Very well. I shall request your assistance once the preparations have been made. However, please do not bother me before then, as I will be very busy.
Simply contact me via, well, I have a pager, I have a microbead, and she actually starts pointing things out.
He just walks off.
Well, that was rather rude.
Quite so.
You hear a familiar voice coming out from the corridor, and you recognise Janine has walked in. It's like,
oh, hello, Janine.
I'd like to apologise for my colleague. He is
a bit of a bastard.
She just laughs and goes, he's a very good doctor and he's not a bad person. He just has a very low tolerance for anything that isn't by the book. So
I have
God, his house.
Yes, it is. It's House and Cuddy. Yes.
I have noticed.
Yeah, he grew up on a very strange world, and his kind of part of his culture has kind of never left him. He's not a bad person. He's just kind of mildly terrifying when you don't know him.
It's strange to say, but I feel like he would have gotten on well with some of the other medical officers on Voss.
Are there members of Voss that is just as stiff as he is?
Well, seeing as we're all tech priests, some quite literally.
Have the brains removed.
Sheila. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm, as he mentioned, or at least suggested, I'm not one of the doctors that is qualified to assist with this surgery, I'm afraid. So when he's ready, I'll be the one to grab you, because you know what he's like. So
thank you. I'm pretty sure you have all of my details.
I know where your living quarters are for the time being, so I'll be sure to help you.
And if by any chance I'm not here, please feel free to use the microbead or the pager or this strange thing called the BlackBerry, or and she just starts going through the things that.
She basically giggles and humours you until you finish.
Half an hour later.
Okay. She gives you a respectful bow and then she leaves.
Have a nice day, Janine.
And let's go to Victus.
Dun. Let me into the armory.
You find the armory after. Have you drunk anything?
Not much.
Make a toughness test with a plus 30 modifier.
I would like to go with him because I kind of left Paris as you started going into
Plus
combat.
30, right?
Yes, plus 30 modifier.
Roll, you fuck. Ugh.
You're just a little bit tipsy.
Dun. Let me in.
So you find a door labelled armory and other surplus written on it.
I'm trying to find, like, who might requisition equipment from.
Sorry. Well, this probably seems like a good a place as any. Do you knock?
Yes.
You wouldn't like to walk in on more people performing their daily rituals.
Oh my. Oh, I take it Marvin's joined me by now, right?
Sorry, what?
Hello, Melvin. Have you come and joined me now?
Yes.
Good.
I'm looking for something specific.
Okay.
As I realize where we're going.
So you
Good
hear
use with that gun, by the way.
you hear a voice from the other side of the wall. It's like, "Come in, it's open."
Vic just walks in, and
I
he
follow.
has his flak cape,
Mm.
sort of flak cloak actually, sort of bundled under one arm,
Mm.
and as he walks in and looks up to the guy.
You enter.
Heard-
Sorry. I was just saying,
Go on.
You enter
Go
the
on.
room, and a good 90% of it has been fenced off away from you from the door. So you basically can't go very far into it. You see racks and racks of various weapons, ammunition, and other unorthodox boxes that have more than dubious labels written, kind of haphazardly scribbled on them. At the counter is a man. He's a bit taller than you are, about 6'5". Dark skinned. He's wearing basically half a guard's uniform. He's got a vest and combat trousers on with boots. He's got his cloak kind of just half adorned over the chair behind him, and he's got a bit of
Can I recognize any insignia or like national background, sort of company background on him?
Okay. Make a common law Imperium test for me. With your, or actually, you have to have common law militarum or something like that.
No, but I do have peer nobility military.
Okay, do that.
Probably should have common law militarum was in it, but
Maybe if it. Anyway.
You're
Do that
scum,
with a
not
plus
trooper,
30
so-
modifier.
okie doke. Roll with a plus 30 modifier. I have it trained. Whoop de doo. Come on, dice roll, you fuck.
Yeah.
You don't really recognize. You don't fully recognize him. You definitely know it's of a military graph, but you're not entirely sure.
Huh.
I
I
roll.
can't make out your markings. If you want to. Help me, boy.
I would like to help if I can with common law Imperium because I don't have heraldry just yet. I don't presume heresy can work or legends. What about legends or Imperium? Imperium to begin with.
I think either or would work.
Alright, let's start with common law. Nope.
Oh,
Legends perhaps?
Yep, I think that'd still work.
Yeah.
today is not our day for rolls. There we go.
You kind of look up and down him. However, as you kind of like you're kind of visually expecting and definitely looking a bit overadvertedly at his person, trying to expect every inch of him, trying to identify any marks. You do, however, notice something that's also attached to his coat. You spot a gas mask.
That doesn't nail it down anywhere.
Now, you recognize him as a member of the Krieg.
Death Corpse.
Do you relay this to me?
I say Death Corpse, and there's a question to him.
He just kind of raises his eyebrow. Huh. I suppose they do teach the children here at least something worthwhile.
The Paradise World of Creek.
Paradise, is that what they call it?
Imperial. I seen the pictures.
Give the kid some slack. He hasn't seen what we've seen.
At least he's enthusiastic. I'll give him that.
So, my Kriegian brother, I hear you're the person to go to requisition some gear.
Yep, I am the one that performs all the maintenance and provides wonderful, wonderful arms based on his oh so excellent Solomon Victoria. How can I help?
You don't sound too shining of your employer.
He looks and goes, it's not that I dislike the person. It's more I'd rather be elsewhere. I could be on a front line right now, but instead I have ended up roped here because apparently they don't want cripples.
Oh, I didn't notice. What's
He,
wrong?
he kind of just leans back and he kind of he kind of falls flat on his chair, and you hear a slight clacking on the floor.
Mm.
You kind of look over to see a walking stick, and you notice he doesn't have a left leg.
Huh. I've got a couple of friends of mine who might be able to fix thing for that.
It's too late for me. Once they sent me off, when I was with my regiment, they basically said, what you did." He's basically la-di-da about it. Like, what you did was great. You saved possibly the platoon, but alas, we don't have any augments for you, so you're gonna have to be put on the bench.
The old honourable discharge.
There's nothing honourable about it.
Well, you're here now, and
could have
you're
just-
helping good people.
They could have put me in a tank. I could have driven a tank.
I think I've been of that myself recently. Well, he's gonna move the cloak. He's gonna sort of wave the cloak and show that it doesn't cover his arms. I'm wondering if you've got anything to help with this. So for mechanics, I'm requesting to trade the flak cloak that I've got for a flak. I think it's a flak jacket which covers my arms and legs as well. It's only 100 more. 200 friends more.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to sort of see if I can get the exchange done for the larger jacket.
Let's see. Because you are a peer to him, because you have what was it, peer high military? Or I can't remember. What it was, sorry. I want you to make this barter at double your fellowship value.
So that would be a
88
roll.
is your target.
Okay. Roll 1d100. See if I get lower than 88 then.
Ooh, that's a lot of points there.
Several degrees of success.
He picks up his walking stick off the floor and kind of pushes himself up. So just pass it here.
No, pass it over.
Let's see. So in good condition. Only a minor amount of bullet impact damage, although that's easily mendable after a short period of time, so that's not a concern. It's been very well kept. Are you sure you've been in combat?
He shows the massive scar on his cheek, and it's just yeah. Surprised I still have my teeth after this one.
He just laughs a bit. Well, at least he didn't lose a leg. How about that?
If he did, I would have replaced him.
Oh, great. We're comparing scars now. There's a reason why I wear this bucket.
He looks at you and
yeah.
goes, "You know
Fairly
what?"
certain mentioning how you got that would be illegal, so...
He looks at you and goes, "Cadia, right?
Yeah.
I recognise some of your iconography. It's
Thank
a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Tell you what. These go for... How much more do you say it was? 200 thrones more or 100?
It's 20 thrones more.
20 thrones more.
Because the flak jacket goes for 100 and the cloak goes for 80.
He looks and goes, What did you want, sorry?
Flak jacket if you could.
I like you. Tell you what, I'll do a 1-for-1 exchange for you.
Thank you.
He kind of just wombles over into one of the large metal steel cabinets, pulls open one of them with less grace than you would really expect, and kind of hauls it one over his shoulder and kind of awkwardly wombles towards you and places it on the counter and just pushes it towards you. Is there anything else?
Victor checks it for sizing whilst he's talking to him, so he's just checking straps.
Yeah. It's a very comfortable fit and it's surprisingly high quality.
Thank you. Wait, it isn't labelled as high quality, is it?
It is labelled as high quality.
So does that count as good quality then?
Yeah.
Right. Great. I get to label that as good. Which means I don't suffer from... First attack of the round is increased by AP. Nice. I have 4 armor on the first hit. Sweet. In which case, thank you. I didn't expect to have such an exchange.
What can I say? I'm a sucker to people who also served in the military.
Say, you're not fond of a drink, are you?
He's-
Probably have some spare.
He smiles and goes, "Magic word."
Well, if you see me around, I've got a... And only friendly to share a drink with another veteran.
I appreciate that. Name's
Now, as...
name's
Go ahead.
Frax, by the way.
Pleasure to meet you. Name's Victus.
Good, strong name. I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else I can
He's
help
like
you
careful to like ignore, like not drop his last name. This guy might recognize his family. Like, oh no.
with?
That's going to be some expensive drinks then.
I have a request actually. Something I'm looking for. I'm not sure if you've got one spare. The good Lord said that he would reimburse us in exchange for payback when we get paid a drop.
An IOU, eh?
Yeah, well,
are you
you
sure?
can charge him directly.
Are you sure that you want to get into an IOU with a shark?
No, you already owe him for the food that we've been eating whilst we're here, so no sense not going deeper into debt. That's what I always say.
I'll put the good word in for you. See what I can work out for you.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm looking for, and he like looks around. I'm looking for, and here are the following items I desire: a grenade launcher.
Oh no.
This is like walking to a gun shop. When you know the guy behind the counter.
I walk into a gun shop and go, I would like a grenade launcher.
I like the grenade launcher. Can I have it?
The attachment for shooting down police helicopters.
It just reminds me of when me and you went into that army suit surplus store as well as Thunder, and there was like looking at the massive bullet stuff.
Yeah, they had fucking tank shells in there. Like, they were like 70 quid a piece. Just like hollowed out tank shell. Like, yes.
There was
Like,
also a
I
bunch
have
of
one of
swords
those
in there.
at the other side of my room.
he looks slightly taken.
Grandfather's.
He looks slightly taken aback and goes, "Grenade launcher, you say?"
Mm-hmm.
He just looks you up and down.
Launching of grenades.
I guess I'm not as sharp as I used to be. I don't know why. I guess I took you as more of a precision weapon kind of person.
He sort of like raises the scoped like pistol out of his pocket. Oh, most of the time I am. It's just sometimes you need to
Universal
touch
solution.
a lot of people at once.
He looks and it's been a long time since I've seen someone put a scope on one of those. I like your character. You got charm about you.
Thank you.
Anyway, so grenade launcher. I do happen to have a small collection of those. They're not common by any means, but I have managed to come into myself with a slight surplus.
What would you be willing to part with one for?
Because I like you. 425 frowns.
Deal. You can get that back from the High Lord himself.
Solomon isn't a High Lord.
He acts like one.
He has delusions of grandeur, that man. I do respect him though. He aims high, shall we say. He wants to try. Madman wants to try and become an Inquisitor one day.
Well, he certainly has the eccentricity about it.
He's in a good position. He already has at least one Inquisitor. Actually, he thinks no, it's two. Yeah, it's two Inquisitors he has the favour of at this point in time, and he isn't even an interrogator. That's how good. That's how charming that bastard is.
You're talking about Solomon Victorian now.
Yeah.
Mention my
Sorry.
share. Mention my
Here
share.
I
of
am with only the
trailers.
blessing of one.
Okay. So, how much was that again?
425.
425. Woof. That is not exactly expensive, but woof.
He almost gave you a 20% discount, so
That is still nice, though. Jeezy. In which case, I'm just trying to have my money. I've got 710 thrones. So I would like to buy a small collection of frag grenades, please. So that
He
would
looks
be
and goes,
however many he'd spare in a bundle, basically.
he basically looks at you and goes,
Gotta have ammo for it, you know.
how many? He looks and goes, I can do 12 for 90.
Deal. Have you got any flash in there as well? Sometimes you need to make a tactical approach.
I do, but I can't do any. As much as I like you, I can't do any discounts on those. You're paying.
That's fair.
You're paying the
I
full.
wouldn't expect.
You're paying the full 60 for those.
I'll take 2 of those, please.
Be my guest.
So let me just add this up real quick so I'm not... Got... because budget changes. I didn't expect to get 12 grenades for that much. Fuck.
Frags are 10 a pop, so...
I know, but it's just like, oh, that's a lot of grenades. Okay, so that's the nade launcher. Question on the nade launcher. What quality is it?
It's considered the standard quality, so it's...
Is it a particular type? Is it a, like...
It is the...
single shot barrel? I mean, they all have the same mechanics. I'm just wondering about description-wise.
It is basically about... Because it's a 6th clip, it's one of the... It's the standard issue rotary grenade launcher that the Militarum get provided to their grenadier squads.
Right. So it's pretty useful. And last but not least, before I get out of here and be done with this, I would like to buy... Has he got any fire shells for the shotguns?
Inferno shells?
Yep.
Let me just double check the
Brain
price.
that I fucking skipped there, sorry, Inferno shells.
Let me just check the price on those because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Here they are. Infernos. Let me just make some rolls real quick. 1 sec.
No worries.
Holy shit.
Oh dear.
20 grenades later.
I have. He says I have 6 remaining.
I'll take 4 if you can spare them. What's the price?
They are also going full pop because they're short. They're 18 a pop.
And that's 4 times 18. 18 times 4 would be
36.72.
72. I add that onto my total cost right now. Plus
Quick maths.
72. And that is it for me. Because I am now basically out of friends.
Spent
So
them as fast as
for-
he got them.
Yep. Well, I can loot alcohol. I'll loot booze in the field. It's fine. It's fine. 4 shotguns. No, not 4 shotguns. What the fuck, brain? 4 Inferno shells.
Yes, so all 4 of you
It
arms.
reminds me of that scout weapon that is literally just 100 shotguns.
I didn't realise you wanted to become the General Grievous of shotgun users.
General Kenobi.
God,
this
poor
pistol will make a...
shotguns. Terrible.
But yes, so that is my sweet shopping quest complete. And I have 14 frag grenades on me.
Now you need some duct tape, and then you can duct tape them together and make one big frag grenade.
Yeah, but no, I could just fire them out of my new noob tube and just be like, "Phoom," and ruin someone's day.
My rotary grenade launcher.
Ruin people's days.
Yeah, but imagine if you duct taped them all together.
What if I just duct taped multiple rotary grenade launchers together?
Imagine. Ingenuity.
Funny thing is, because it counts as a basic, well, actually, it counts as a basic heavy weapon, I can actually put a fucking silencer on it. Silent grenade launcher.
Dear Lord, that's terrible.
You don't hear it coming until you detonate. But no, that's me happily done and good to go.
1 second.
Oh dear, I think I've killed my PDF by mistake.
Okay.
Dang it! What? Why?
He
How
looks.
much money do we get?
He looks at the boy. He's like, he goes, "What do you want?"
I was looking for the thing I wanted exactly, but I can't find the book I found it in anymore. So.
Is it the thing you sent in a message to me earlier? Was it?
I just took weapons training general for a last gun, so could we upgrade that to a hell gun?
A hell gun.
Yes,
I think
and a
that's.
power pack.
I think that's in the Inquisitor's Handbook, if I remember correctly. 1 second.
Yeah, I
It
think
is,
that-
and it's quite the step up.
Begone message.
Begone, vile beggar! You haven't lived until Carl has screamed that at you repeatedly for an hour.
Yeah, it is in the
Inquisitor's Handbook. Yes, that is.
yeah, the Dalaku Hellgun.
Oh, just a normal one.
There isn't a regular Hellgun in this list.
I went down to the bottom. That has a full list.
Oh, does it? Okay. Ah, yes. Hellgun.
I mean, it's rare, but well, the Daku Hellgun is only scarce and better.
Yeah, but it's also like nearly 3 times the price. So let me just see if he has one in his inventory. He looks and goes, "Don't have one in my inventory, I'm afraid."
Oh well. A hazard environment suit then.
Hazard environment suit.
That's a rogue trader one.
Also, I would highly recommend, if you want something of the same vein, like, do you have a las weapon at the moment?
No.
I would suggest, I say I would, Victus would suggest you pick up something like a las carbine, because you're a small boy and it's okay. If you want a rifle that would suit you, and then load it with hotshot magazines, which are so much cheaper.
It is.
Let me see. I can't seem to find it in the book. Do you know which book it is in?
The rogue trader one with the hazard environment suit. The hazard suit. Let me just send an image. I have it right here.
If you have it right there, that'd be appreciated.
Unless I went away from it.
Wow,
Hang
the
it,
range
this
of
is
the grenade
weapons.
launcher is actually kind of terrifying. It's one of the longest ranged I have.
Yeah.
Damage and type and pen depend on
It's not a tool. It's not a smoking device.
depend on the grenade I'm
Oh, it's called a survival suit. That's probably why.
No, that's why I couldn't find it.
Yep. I'm setting to PMs. I think this would be the best thing on a frozen rock. A good towel. What's it called?
But I need the I need the rarity, its price, and that stuff.
Yes, let me write that. Sorry, I should have prepared
I
that.
don't need the description. I need the stats for it.
I just want to prove it exists.
It does, don't worry.
No, it's plentiful.
Plentiful, and it doesn't have a price.
No, that's a weight.
Which book? Sorry, was it? What is the exact name of the book? Because I don't have.
Rogue Trader.
Is it the original Rogue Trader, or is it a Dark Heresy Rogue Trader book? Because I don't.
It's the original Rogue Trader. I was under belief we were on a Rogue Trader ship. Sorry about my League of Legends.
The Rogue Trader book is a completely different rule set.
Oh.
Yeah.
Enough! I just
If you
always
want-
thought that it would
If
work.
you want something similar to that, there's something in the base rule book called Void Suit. That would do the same thing.
Yeah. Like, no wonder I couldn't find it. Yeah, 1 second.
There is a Rogue Trader book for Dark Heresy, which is why everyone's getting confused.
Ah,
Uh,
I'm so confused.
It's alright. It happens to all of us.
yeah.
Yeah, if you want you want a Void Suit.
Let me find
These
it.
sealed suits are intended to preserve the wearer in the most hostile environment.
It is a bitch and a half to buy, though. It is plentiful, weirdly enough, and it only costs 100 friends.
Okay.
That ain't much of a bitch to buy at all.
Yep, he has them in stock, and he just goes, He just looks sternly at you and goes, "It's 100 thrones to you."
I don't. Fuck! I didn't look up how much I get as a level 3.
Do you need a loan, kid?
I have this very fine recording of Sullivan saying that he doesn't mind IOU, so
We'll work out how much you get next time in between sessions.
okay.
Even though I told you to do that at the end of last session.
You probably will make 100 thrones, don't
You'll
worry.
make 100 thrones.
If not, I'll loan it to you.
Yeah, you'll have friends helping you. It's all good.
Okay.
And that is basically it for the fact that he's going to a very cold planet with a very cold, and he's probably going to be in need of having just a tiny bit adjusted to his size.
Fair enough. The guy he looks and goes, "Give me a minute." And after about 20 minutes, he basically takes one of the void suits and basically kind of tears it down into in its essential components, quickly kind of keeps eyeing you up, and then roughly stitches it back together into an appropriate size, and then he fully seals it again completely. There we go. Here you go, kid.
Most excellent. How to find some hand sanitizer for the rest of the trip?
Do you say that out loud?
No.
Don't forget the toilet paper.
He looks at both of you and goes, "Is there anything else I can do for you today?"
I'm pretty good, thank you. He's like expecting he's probably doing the testing and everything of it. Because now I have training in grenade launchers, so I'm assuming Victus would actually know what the fuck he's doing, and it's like inspecting each barrel and testing it. Like not testing it obviously, but like
Yeah.
checking each one, and then he puts on like the check-ins. Like, thank you.
I think that would be all for now.
He kind of gives you a slightly unusual salute, but as a midterm man, you do recognize it as one of Krieg.
I return it. I return a Cadian one.
May the Emperor protect.
The Emperor
Be with
protect.
you.
Okay. I'm going to say that a decent amount of time passed for that because he spent ages redoing that void suit for you.
Bartering and selling shit. Woo woo.
So let's go back to Paris.
And don't forget a siren.
Oh shit, we have sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Siren, is there anything you intended on doing during a bit of downtime before you meet back up with the Inquisitor?
Yeah, there were a few things. But first, together with Parus at this moment.
Yes.
Yes, so, sister, I did notice that you acquired certain upgrades to your hardware.
That is correct, brother. I have changed my voice modulator. Do you
Yes.
like it?
I do find the pitch and the tone and the frequency quite pleasing, although I might not be the best representative sample of a baseline human. I do feel like this might improve the quality of life for you in the first place, and secondarily to your patients. How do you find it personally?
It's a bit more emotive and quirky, which I feel will help with my air and horse, if you were.
Quite so. Quite so. There was, as far as I recall, a bit of history with the old one. I do feel like this might be beneficial for you as well.
Are you referring to Carolus?
Yes, indeed. Might not be the best memory, however, it is one that has not yet been expunged from us by our benefactors.
Indeed. I mean, that whole sorted business is the reason why we are. I suppose. I didn't
Yes.
really apologize for dragging you in with me for that.
That is not a problem. I would like to accompany you on our quest. I understand that my choices might seem a little bit questionable. However, my loyalty both to my relatives and to the throne is inerrant.
To the throne. I didn't really take you for much of a corpse worshipper either.
Don't say that
You
shit.
are you are on quite a slippery slope, my sister. Our compatriots might not appreciate you referring to their deity by that term.
I
That
was just pulling your leg, metaphorically, of course.
ah
And I think, after all, you're the last person who needs to be talking to me about slippery slopes. And she gestures to the octopus.
yes, about that. I was about to ask if you could, so to speak, put your revulsion behind and maybe help me with modifications to this creature.
She just kind of crosses her arms.
If, however, if you find this too repugnant, this is understandable. I shall find assistance elsewhere.
Just be careful with it, brother. I don't want to see you getting into more trouble than it's worth.
I shall do my best, Parus. Thank you. And I'm gonna go for an awkward shoulder pat.
Just do.
Pat. Yeah.
She hugs you.
Aw. I hug her back.
I don't think we've had a proper discussion about corruption yet.
No, I don't believe we have. However, from the data we have shared earlier, I have inferred this was not the most pleasant experience to go through.
He was the closest thing I could consider to a father.
Yes, correct. And he was not the best, how do I put it, role model, was he?
His actions went against, of course, certain doctrines, and it was a bit of a sordid affair.
Quite so. However, I do think that moving on, for us both from boss, both from our form mentors, would be beneficial. We might be able to put our talents better in the service of the Inquisition. The quest for knowledge shall continue unhindered by doctrines and certain restrictions of the Code Mechanicus with the assistance of the Inquisitorium.
You do realize, though, those restrictions are there for certain reasons, brother.
Correct. However, I found them too rigid in certain places. This is my personal opinion.
Just as long as you don't go welding people to bloody Forge World hive minds or whatever the fuck it was Corollas wanted to work on.
Oh, no. This was never my intention. I would just like to apply my truthfully limited talents for the better without as much, well, bureaucracy.
I have to ask though, brother.
Go
Why?
on, sister.
And she gestures to the octopus.
This specimen is quite unique, and this was the best option I could come up with at the moment to retrieve it and extract it with us. Containing it otherwise seemed impractical.
You know, you could have just settled for a servo sculpt.
Servo skulls are quite quaint and old-fashioned. This might set a new trend in the Adeptus Mechanicus, don't you think?
The whole thing has been corrupted by the war.
This is yet to be determined. However, it seems to be heavily
I don't know much
mutated.
about octopoids. I just know that that isn't what an octopus should look like.
Correct. Its genetic structure seems to be heavily altered. However, the degree of warp corruption does not seem to be outward and excessive, if present at all.
It's
I would-
green.
Yes, but this might just be a mutation of its outward skin layer, and some octopoids and mollusks do possess the ability to camouflage themselves according to their surroundings.
Now I'm just curious to how much you've been reading about octopuses. Octopi?
I have
Octopeople?
no, I do not believe that such a thing as octopeople exists yet. This might be something to look forward to. However, I have processed quite a lot of data relevant to this specimen.
Please tell me you're not going to try and make octopeople now, are you?
I cannot make any promises. I am
On
kidding.
Messiah, damn it.
I kid, sister.
Just gonna
This would be going
her
a little
lens
too
is
far.
narrow.
This would be going a little too far, even for me.
I should hope so. Don't need to be telling you. Well, snitching on you.
I do not think that we will have to go to such a degree. If anything, our overlords shall notice it earlier and take measures according to the degree of frivolity I may potentially have committed. Yeah, whatever. So yeah.
You do realize that tech priest that we're after, he worked alongside the Inquisition, and now he's an monster.
Yes, and we shall do our best to learn from his.
Example.
Yes, quite so.
Be careful, brother. I do care about you.
Right back at you, sister. We shall do our best on our quest for knowledge.
In the meantime, I need to figure out a way to upgrade this canine specimen.
Yes, I do believe there might be some stock modifications available for cyber mastiffs that might fit your pet. Sputnik, was it?
Sputnik, yes.
That is a very fitting name, seeing how he is more or less our satellite creature. Ha, 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 ha. I do believe that was Proto-Ursh, correct?
Indeed. Oh, I can actually laugh properly in this voice.
Yes,
How quaint.
yes, indeed. It does suit you. Right, so I shall attempt to find assistance with the other members on this ship. I do understand that you might not be exactly looking forward to working with this creature, so I shall not force you.
Thank you.
No problem.
So we have that going for us.
So yeah.
So you see, boy, by firing grenades directly at their face, you can guarantee they die.
Are you pretty much done, Siren? Or...
Yeah, so I would probably like to find a biologist on this ship, other than the quite unfriendly person that we've interacted with before. Or I might just take this octopus straight to the tech priest and see what he can tell me about it.
Go see the crazy tech priest, I'm sure you.
We'll find. Yeah, we'll be on the same frequency, I guess. So yeah, it was there, wasn't it?
Yes.
Scarlet?
If you wanna, well, next one across, but still semantics.
Yes, I would like to amble my way towards that room.
Okay, you amble your way towards that room.
Yes. I shall knock politely before entering.
You may enter.
I do enter. So
Great.
I'm not familiar with that person. I should have. I should have asked for directions from Paris. Let's just
You were.
let's just say that we've
Let's
tracked.
just say you did.
The labeling
just
is
say-
pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. So I just basically walked around the corridors, just seeing anything relevant, and Greetings, fellow tech adept.
Hello.
I have noticed. My name is Osiron Glaw. I shall spare you the number and the serial number and the details. I've noticed that you are the resident tech adept on this ship.
Greetings, tech brother. My name is Engineer Octavian. How may I be of assistance?
Octavian, this might not be the most common request. However, I would like you to inspect this creature I have acquired on our travels, and would like to have your opinion on modifications that might be suitable for it. And I command Fronter to amble forward.
He's a little taken aback when he sees it, and he just looks at it and goes, "Interesting. It appears you have installed a personality into this processing abomination."
That would
It's
be.
not just me.
However, yes, that would be correct. I had to install a relevant processing matrix, and that was the only one available at this moment. This specimen seemed to be too valuable to leave there, and its containment proved problematic
He just
otherwise.
starts poking it. It's like,
I am commanding a Fronter to submit to the examination. I would like to request you to keep your examination non-invasive, if that is possible.
he immediately puts the knife he had in his hand down.
Thank you.
I apologize for my description of your creature. Abomination is the only logical conclusion I can deter for this monster you have brought before me.
I do not blame you. I understand that this might be unorthodox.
Is this an unknown species that you have provided towards me?
This seems to be an octopod creature based on the genetic material of a common octopus. However, additional DNA strands introduced to it are yet to be determined.
He just looks and goes, unusual. He kind of starts like lifting it around and just turning it upside down and just like trying to look at it. There is no other than the indication of the incision you made while installing the personality. It appears to be completely undamaged from its experimentation. It appears to have been not more or less spliced. Created by splicing animals together. Rather, it appears to have been born with these defects.
Correct. It would be logical to assume that it spawned from an egg previously modified according to specifications of the adepts that worked on it.
Assessment agreed. Alas, without further internal examination, I cannot determine success rate of any kind of modification performed to this creature.
Quite so. How invasive of an examination are we talking here?
He processes for a minute.
Mollusks do possess a higher regenerative capacity, more so than other members of the multicellular creatures. So
he takes his knife and slightly cuts the arm, and it almost within about 30 seconds it immediately regenerates.
Quite so.
Interesting.
It would appear that this one also possesses much greater or enhanced artificially ability to regenerate.
He looks at you and goes, I would like an arm.
Well then. Damn it, that's a pickle. By the way, yeah. Do I have like any sensory feedback from the Fronter to myself?
I'm going to say no. You haven't had the time to set that up.
Okay, then. Then I command Affronter to stay still for the maximum time. But I would like to request analgesics to be administered for the creature, not to suffer. They do have very large neurons for nociception.
He nods and goes into his drawers. He's like, normally this would be applied to human subjects. However, given the nature of this creature, I feel like something stronger than its typical size would be required.
That is agreeable. Proceed with your examination, brother.
He begins to inject it into one of the arms he intends on lopping off. And Affronta just kind of like falls asleep immediately.
Good.
Hmm.
It would seem like the analgesics have, what do you call it, kicked in.
It appears
You may proceed.
It appears it does not have any resistance to external toxins. This will make the removal much swifter. And then he just kind of grabs a butcher's cleaver from his drawer.
Oof.
I would recommend that you turn away for this.
I deny this request. I would like to see the procedure performed before my visors, if that is possible.
It is more for less annoyance, and he just basically moves the extra arms out of the way, and just with one switch chop, boom, right off.
I have to admire your precision, brother Octavian.
It is merely the method of practice.
Ever chopped octopi before? Nah.
I used to cook
I
them.
do, kid.
He takes the arm and it's
Takoyaki is very tasty.
he basically quickly seals up the arm a little bit just to stop any kind of internals kind of coming out.
Yeah.
And he places it into basically a coolant cell that he has to kind of preserve it. I will require an amount of time to examine the subject. I will call for you when I have any kind of process. And you immediately notice that Affronta's started regenerating another arm.
Oh, perfect. This would be agreeable.
If
Also,
we cut a front
I
in
find-
2 parts, which one would grow back?
Both.
Oh,
I'd like to point out that you'd be severing through his brain stem
Yes,
if you did
yes,
that.
But arms of an octopus do have a high degree of autonomy, but I may create a biological weapon, can't I?
Self-regenerate.
I create a limb whip.
Yes, I can create a launcher for tentacles that might strangle the victim.
No.
Okay, but knife wielding tentacles.
If anyone would like to volunteer to turn it off, they can be my guest.
Anywho, yes.
I will require time, and I shall contact you when I have an appropriate assessment of the creature.
Of course, brother Octavius. This will be agreeable. I shall look forward to our further communication.
Very well. Omnisci.
Sorry, just
Praise
seen a
Omnisci.
Praise the Omnissiah. Until
Just-
later.
I've just
And
seen
I
a
shall leave it.
headline,
Yep.
guys. Coronavirus conference gets cancelled. Coronavirus.
Skill.
Yep. Health.
Okay.
Healthcare professionals, ladies and gentlemen.
I long for the sweet release of death.
So yeah, and I would probably go back to our glorious trader and see if we can find any modifications for standard tech priest interface, probably some ablative armor or anything similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So I would probably like to contact him through the combead first and foremost.
Okay. He picks up and goes, Solomon Victoria on call.
Greetings, Solomon. I know this might not be the most common request. However, we might need additional protection on our quest. Would you, by any chance, have any ablative plating or anything similar that might fit the standard Mechanicus framework?
Is a blade plating an actual thing, or is it just a description?
I'm just pulling shit out of my ass at this point.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't
Just anything
recognise-
that just might increase our resistance to damage, pretty much at this point. Because I don't think like many types of armor would fit on our bodies.
He thinks and goes, if you're looking for just standard clothing over armor, you probably want to talk to Thrax in the military surplus area.
Okay. I shall do that. Thank you, Solomon. Can you provide directions or upload it straight to my communicator?
He pings on the map, and that's where you need to go.
Thank you. That will be all.
Okay.
So, right. And yeah, as my last request, I would like to go there and see if I can sort the armor situation out. With Thrax, was it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, well, we are still fitting the suit.
You bump
Yes.
into White and Z.
Greetings,
I think you mean
Melvin,
Ah.
Victus.
Siren, check it out. Just like spins the
Oh,
spins the chambers like check it out.
I do
It's
admire
like
the
my
construction.
revolver, but bigger.
I do admire the construction of your weapon. What sort of caliber does it fire?
Standard Imperial grenade munitions.
This shall prove rather useful in our
Thank
further
you.
missions. However, I would advise caution. No, you are a trained professional. You should not be hearing all this.
I mean, I read most of the manual. I should be okay.
Some of it's tattered. It's
I
unreadable.
just go, very well. Melvin, what is this you're trying to put onto your frame?
A hazardous environment suit or void suit for some.
Or
void
HEV.
Yes. HEV Mark IV protective system for use in hazardous environment conditions.
Indeed.
Good choice.
Hmm.
I
believe
am
it will
looking
assist us in the extreme environments we are to face.
correct. I am looking forward to buying one or similar item for myself and my sister. Would you reckon the trader has more in stock?
I would
Most
like
likely.
to say that you might also want something, a heating element for. What was the name of the octopus again?
Affronter.
Affronter. Unless
Yes.
you want a frozen squid
Yes.
with you.
I am probably going to be keeping him close to my frame for him to leech off of the Potentia coil that I already have installed. However, a heated tank might not be a bad choice. Thank you, Melvin. I shall take your suggestion into consideration.
Cut out octopus onesie.
I mean, you could possibly mount the tank on the shoulder.
No,
Yes.
I remember
we're
seeing-
giving him a sweater.
I remember
This-
seeing old Mechanicus boys with those kind of glowing things on their shoulder. They look like tank.
Yes, this would be the filtration system normally. However, I shall find and reprocess one to house a creature I have in my possession. Creature comforts. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, that.
Oh,
Yes, quite. I shall not deter you much longer. I have a trading deal to attend to.
Oh, dear. Okay. 1 second. sorry.
Knock, knock.
They'll have 2 number 9s, number 9 love.
That caught me off guard.
Don't get the pizza.
Right. So,
I thought we were doing the family meal deal.
You just,
Never.
knock, knock, knock.
Big Smoke is a family.
you just hear a half effort to enter.
Yes, I shall enter. Greetings. It is my understanding that you're Thrax, the trader on this ship. Would that be correct?
He kind of breathed a heavy sigh and goes, "Yes, how can I help?"
As a matter of character thing, I would like to roll for perception here. May I?
Go for it.
Without modifiers. Oh, success.
Okay,
Okay.
what is it you're looking for exactly?
I'm just quickly scanning his biological condition and noticing the thing that he has,
Yeah,
the
you
injury
think his
from
bulge?
before. Yes.
You
No, not that.
You notice his stump.
Yes.
Notices your lack of leg.
God damn it, White. So, I was not aware of your condition. Is there anything we might assist you with? I believe my sister and I may be able to provide replacement for one of your missing limbs, or multiple, were you to choose to improve their functionality.
He kind of perks up a little bit. It's like, I've been on this ship for about 4 years now, and you're the only member of the Mechanicus that's asked me such a question.
Oh, that would be quite inconsiderate or quite lacking awareness of my fellow adepts. I apologize on behalf of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
It wouldn't surprise me if Solomon told them to not take notice of it. It's one of those things. I think it's more he assumed that if people kept asking, it would hurt my pride or something.
Then my lack of social prowess may have worked out favorably this time.
He just smiles and yes, I suppose so. Anyway, how can I help?
Right, I would like to procure a thing known as a void suit for me and my sister. We do fit standard Mechanicus measurements, so I don't suppose there should be any issue with fitting it.
He's got a... He's like, I've got a fair few of those, to be fair. They're not exactly uncommon. I can get those provided for you.
Most excellent. I would like 2 pieces of it delivered to me and my sister's chambers, if that would be possible. Or I might pick them up and deliver them myself.
He's just smiling at, I like you. I'll do both of those for 80 thrones apiece.
Oh, most excellent. I shall transfer the funds immediately to your account.
I've already written up the IOU for Solomon.
Splendid. Then we shall work it out at a later point. There is another matter which might not be as common as a void suit, however. I would like to purchase, if that is possible, an enhanced array of medicals for my sister's injector. Mechadendrite, yes.
So he looks and goes, sorry, we don't have that kind of stock, unfortunately. Maybe that Janine person might have some in her medical facility, but that's not something I stock here.
Not a problem. We shall figure it out at a later point. We do have approximately 15 days of travels in front of us.
Have we already decided on our next locale?
Quite so. However, I may not be at liberty to disclose the location at this point. This will be left to discretion of Solomon.
So you're that special case he was mentioning earlier?
This would be the case, yes.
Understandable. It's not in me to question my commanding officer, so I shall leave it at that.
Yes, I'm afraid I would be overstepping boundaries and restrictions placed upon us by our employers, were I.
He just looks at you guys. You seem more polite than most your brethren, it seems.
Sorry about that, guys.
I may not be the best, but I am trying.
Unless there's anything else I can help you with, that'll be it. I'd like you to leave if that's alright.
That would be all. And yes, were you to require any assistance with prosthetics, we would be at your service.
He just laughs and goes, I'll be fine. Thank you.
Not a problem. I bid thee farewell. And yeah, basically
I feel like I need this guy.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
I want to go to someone else if that's okay, because you've been kept the help for a while.
I've been taking up a shit ton of time.
You were last, so it's fine. Okay, so Parus.
It me.
You hear a knock on the door.
Okie doke. Parus opened the door.
You say Janine.
Janine, is it time for us to assist in the whatever it is he wants us to do?
Yes. Medical Officer Spectre is waiting for you.
Spectre.
Oh, did I not mention his name earlier? I
Well,
apologise.
no, he never mentioned his name either.
To be fair, he'd never introduced himself, really. He really...
His real name?
It's an odd story. Based on what I'm sure he wouldn't mind me telling you, he grew up on a feral world. And they had an interesting selection for their naming conventions for their tribes. He... Even though he had the option to change his name, it's the one his father gave him, and I think he has that little bit of family pride in him that refuses to change it for a more traditional imperial name, shall we say.
I see.
Yes?
I'd have to ask where he studied after on a feral world of all places.
Yeah, I'm gonna
But
say
that is a question for another time.
she just looks and goes, "If you can get that kind of information out of him, you've done better than most of us have for the past 3 years."
I'll tickle him.
I really wouldn't recommend doing that.
And she just kind of like puts the medical mechadendrite away.
Anyway, the medical facility has the medical facility has been cleared of all non-essential personnel. He's kind of a bit. He doesn't like having
He's a
many.
bit precious.
No, he just doesn't like any kind of distractions. So, just as a forewarning,
Yes.
while working with him, only speak when you're spoken to. It's just my best advice, if that's all right.
So yes, he is very precious then.
If that's the way you want to describe it. So,
Right then.
if you wish to follow me, we can. Oh, excuse me, sorry.
Alright.
If you wish to follow me, we can make our way to the facility.
Okey-doke.
Okay, you make your walk. Do a brief walk to the facility, and there's only about 6 people in here. The three doctors he mentioned, including Spectre himself, and 2 other doctors around the side of him. A person operating basically all the readout machines, heart rate, blood pressure, all that kind of stuff, and 2 members of security.
Right.
It's like he just looks and goes, "You're late."
I'm taking after you.
Sorry, I forgot what the word was. Example. Sorry, that's not her pausing, that's me being a dumb.
He just responds, "I arrived exactly when I was required."
That will remain to be seen.
Anyway, he gestures you to come towards him.
Okay, and she does.
He goes, given that it is one of our medical staff's first time performing this surgery, I will give a effective overview of what we're going to do. Once she has been properly thawed out of her stasis, we'll have approximately 30 minutes to perform as much reconstructive surgery of the brain as possible. I will be doing the primary work on, and he basically points to a small medical diagram of the skull. I will require you. He just points at you, and he's just like kind of like opens an invitation to get your name.
Parus Corsa B.
I will be requiring you to be doing work on the spine, as he then kind of moves over the cycle to see. As we can see here, she has received what appears to be a damaging wound directly into her spinal cord, which will require repairing for her to have any use of her legs after this. That'll be your responsibility.
I have done similar procedures in the...
Very good. He takes another look at you and goes, "Yeah. Actually, I have a question for you. How refined are your movements with that mechadendrite of yours?"
And she just kind of like has it kind of instantly swirl around, and it's quite snake-like, and quickly she changes over each individual tool to which one it being the primary tool used. So it's kind of like it kind of looks a bit like a medical Swiss Army knife.
That sounds fucking terrifying, if I have to be honest.
Yeah, and it has a skull on it and everything. It's great.
You just think it's a good theory. If we were to use your mechadendrite, it would probably improve cranial surgery percentage estimate by around 2 to 3%. And given the nature of the patient, every percentage point probably matters in this operation. Okay then, in reversal of plans, he points to one of the other doctors, you'll be performing the surgery on the spine. I will want you, Parus, to stand beside me, and I'll be instructing you through the procedure as we go, as I feel like your tool will be very appropriate for this situation.
It would be beneficial to increase my memory banks to deal with further, let's say, procedures that would undertake such a course of action. That made no fucking sense.
So, if you want to explain out of character what it is you want, sorry, just so I make sure I understood.
Alright, so basically she said that's in Parus speak. Sure, that sounds pretty beneficial to me.
Okay. I wasn't sure if he was asking for more information now or for later, sorry.
No, she was basically saying that she's fine with. She can use what she learned here for future reference.
Okay.
I'm being a dumb bitch.
It's fine. Sorry, 1 second. I need to just find the page in the book. There it is.
So whenever I try and do Parus,
I understand it's not easy to do the voice, it's fine.
I just know it's a case of happens in between my brain and my mouth. It just.
You're doing fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I also fucking stumble and make completely nonsensical sentences that up on occasion. That's fine. So you see, I can't fucking talk like out of character at all. So that's all right. You're doing fine.
Anyway, if you please, he kind of gestures you to stand next to him.
And she does so.
This particular cryobay will extend out into a bed as soon as it goes. We will wait exactly 5 minutes until a thawing, and then we'll be able to proceed with the procedure. After that, we have, as a reminder, we have 30 minutes to complete it. If we do not, then we will have to seal the wound immediately and then return her back into stasis for another time to complete the procedure. Understood?
Affirmative.
Okay. He signals to the medical staff operating all the equipment on the other side of the room, and then the cryo facility, the cryopod opens up. Okay. She's been a bit frozen over, but it appears that she's at least her vitals are at least stable at this current moment in time. Neve, if you would like to make, because this basically is going to be in several parts, so I want you to make your first medical test to see, with no modifier, just to see how many degrees of success you have.
When you say no modifier, is that
including what you have as no additional modifier?
Right. Okay. So.
Okay. So you okay. Oof. that was close.
How many? So you said 3.
I want to see how many degrees of modifier success you got. Sorry. So it's several parts. So first, she is lying before you. You open the head carefully and precisely. You don't overcut. And you have the brain open. The Spectre is, although he is very over detailed in what he's saying, what he's communicating to you makes a lot of sense. However, this is probably your first time performing such a repair. So now I need you to make this Medicae test at -30.
Okay, that is.
Would you like to use a fate point to try again?
Yes.
Yay!
So you're able to start removing away, opening up the layers of the brain very carefully, not to damage it any further. As you kind of look inside, you can definitely tell it is very much a lot of the internal connections of the brain has already been severed and damaged. He looks at you and goes, "Very good, almost exactly perfect." He now starts giving you some good encouragement, well, not so much encouragement, very strict and firm directions. And he
Big
tells
difference.
yes, and
You say?
he said big difference. And he kind of starts. Okay, so he tells you how you're going to be reconnecting some of the machinery that you have. Make this test at -40.
Okay.
Very good. He's watching your handiwork, and occasionally he kind of just re-guides your mechadendrite to exactly where it needs to be. On occasion, he's assisting you with this as best as he can. And within about 20 minutes, you have completed all his instructions that he's been providing to you. He goes, "You have done an excellent job."
Quickest brain surgery ever. Usually it takes hours.
You are very advanced. So
This is 40k.
yeah, there's a long time in the future, so things have
I
changed.
know. I'm just making.
Yeah.
That was an out of character joke.
Yeah, very good. Goes. He looks inside and goes, "It probably needs a little bit more work. However, this is from what I can see, this is something that will repair itself over the time we've given it the brain, the rest of the encouragement needed. Please remove your tools from her head."
She does so.
Okay.
Tools removed.
And then you start hearing him mutter in a kind of very unusual kind of language. Let me check your character sheet.
And here I am with all of my occult and all of my scholastic lore in the education of heresy. If this is heretical,
I know speak language logothic.
It's super heretical.
None of your traits or things would help you identify his language.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't believe that I am thoroughly. How you say?
Sorry, with the pause. I'm actually just thinking. I forgot a word.
Introspective.
Acquainted.
Acquainted. That was it.
I don't believe I am thoroughly acquainted with the dialect that I've just spoken.
He is just ignoring you at this point. And after about a good minute and a half, you see her head. He has his hand over her head, and then it slowly starts rebuilding itself together as the wound starts beginning to seal.
Okay.
And after about another minute and a half, the head has finally closed itself off, and he stops muttering to himself.
Is he a psyker?
He goes,
Oh, I don't have sinusicians.
Sanitians.
Yeah, I know.
It's like he turns to the operator in the other rooms, like, seal the machine, put her back into the cryostasis, and the machine starts stealing up. He looks at you and goes, "I would have preferred if you wasn't speaking while I was trying to concentrate. However, it did not delay my abilities in any way to get that finished."
What did you just do?
It's like, so he just coughed a little bit. I am gifted in the art of biomancy.
I see.
Unfortunately, being able to do such precise work with my powers is not something that I have the means to do, which would why I required so many assistances with this. He looks to the other doctor. "How was you in repairing the patient's spine?" He goes, as far as I can understand, if she has she may have to go through any form of rehab, but in theory she should be able to walk, no issues. Very good. He goes over to the sink and begins to wash his hands. And after he's finished, he comes back and says, "That will conclude your required service, and as of mine. I am going to go back to my quarters now," and he just leaves the room.
You mentioned previously he does have a tattoo on his head.
Yes, I've got an image. Sorry, let me go grab that for you.
I'm guessing that's some sort of seal.
It's not really. It's more tribalistic.
Akimbo auto gun. I can't believe that's doable. Oh wait, don't mind me. I'm just doing terrible. Hold on.
There we go. Oh, I just sent that to Z, not the actual group chat.
God dang it.
It's fine.
I also can't believe I gave away a combat shot.
And I don't know why I've just put it in our meme dump folder, but there it is.
Right, okay. My god, he's Isaac from Castlevania.
He reminds me of Angron with that haircut.
That's not a haircut, that's
And he just leaves the room without saying another word.
Yeah, she's gonna go over and begin to deep clean and sterilize.
Janine kind of just walks into. So, how'd it go?
He is interesting to say the least.
He is, but you can't really deny the fact that he's very good at his job. So,
Indeed.
did he say anything about if she'd be all right? Do you know?
She might need some rehabilitation, but she should be fine.
I'm sure your commanding officer would be very pleased to hear that.
Indeed. It is better than the previous prospect that we were going to have to reveal.
I was kind of watching in through the observer's window. He let you take the lead effectively. He normally does not do that. He definitely seems like the kind of person that would have done it himself.
I suppose I should be flattered then.
He's very much he'd rather do it himself. So he either saw you as doing something very useful, or he was being cryptic and was testing you. I don't know. He's a strange individual, but he's from a different world.
Fan of people.
It's clear that he just didn't want his hand on something if it went wrong.
Okay. And I guess, well, I think you've set a good first impression. He didn't tell you to leave, so I think maybe he'll ask you again in the future.
I kind of outdrank him anyway, so you couldn't tell me to leave it. So.
Trust me, I think you will do as you're told when it comes to him. Did he show you his abilities?
He did, yes. You didn't say that he was.
I suppose I'm just so used to it that I guess I never just occurred to me to say it, really.
Interesting. Are you used to dealing with...
Sorry, could you say that again, please?
Are you used to working with psychers?
Not so much used to as just... He doesn't make any deal of it, he just does what he does and then never mentions it again. He's the only one of two that's ever regularly on the ship. So
I'm guessing the other is Tobias?
Correct. Well, kind of, but that's the other one's dead now.
Oh, the old astropath.
Yeah.
Did you know him?
He was very busy with his work a lot of the time. Good person though, definitely a good person. hopefully the new one that you brought with you, he's got big shoes to fill. So hopefully he's at least as nice as the old one.
Well, he's hoping.
Anyway, I probably should get back to. I need to probably fill in my paperwork for the event. Solomon will, even though Solomon doesn't know anything about medicine, he likes to at least have a full report for records. So I should probably get on that.
All right then. Thank you.
And she leaves.
Parus is going to continue cleaning her up too, because yes, hygiene is very important.
Incredibly.
We don't want any nurgles in here. No, thank you.
No brain juice no brain juice, please.
Okay.
Yeah, no cross contamination. Thank you.
I'm gonna say then there is a bit of a time skip here. You spend your time cleaning up. You guys get some relaxing, and I'm gonna say 2 standard days pass in time, and you are busy doing whatever you would do for your R&R while you're not pressured to do anything.
Yeah, I would like to, in that meantime, just to go to Paris and give her the void suit that I found.
I'm probably drinking with the Krieger and just chilling with him, being like, and that's when my parent just shot a guy right in the face.
He's very much enjoying the stories you have to tell.
Wonderful.
I was going to say at some point Parus would be looking to go to the Krieg guy to see if she could actually purchase thicker robes for her and her brother.
As a quick dilute, the thing you receive is that he says something's being commissioned especially for you. Solomon says that Solomon says he'll let you know when it's prepared.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Solomon did say he would give you something to help with the cold on the next planet you're going to go on to.
He doesn't want her to freeze her nipples off.
However, after about 2 days, you get an alert from Solomon. It's like, could our inglorious ground team please come to the bridge for...
My inglorious bastards, please come.
Pretty much, yes.
That's pretty much the vibe he was giving off.
Yep, we're gonna approach. Victus isn't very drunk, but he's a little.
And Dog comes with, of course.
Okay.
I think my character has just grown 20 years by the fact he just finished Inquisitor.
Actually, for sitting downtimes, I think at some point between drinking things, would he come congratulate you, gun during that fight, and be like, "You're not old enough to drink, but congratulations, boy, did good."
Yeah. Okay, you're on the bridge. And Solomon faces towards you with Artyom stood next to him with his head bandages on to cover up the third eye.
That's navigators.
No, sorry, getting things mixed up. Sorry, he's just stood there politely. Goes, so your friend you've brought up's been doing a very good job to communicating with
Sorry, I've kind of started. I'm just gonna be my microphone.
Hard pack.
with Harpak and the ship. Very good, very quick. That's a little bit faster than our previous navigator, which is most appreciated. Artyom just kind of smiles politely and just relaxes a little bit. So, I have been informed by old glorious leader that the usual debrief has been rejected. The Spear of Bitter Mercy is currently engaged in a conflict and he requires his current full attention. So, however, he just kind of starts scratching nervously. I have been informed that he is sending someone else in his stead to receive operation feedback and to oversee the next mission effectively. Not to go down with you, but he wants his full briefing in person and to be instructed on that. He just kind of takes a drink from his cup holder.
Do you know who this other person is going to be?
Unfortunately, so he's not the most pleasant. Well, I say that wrong. He's more full of himself than I am. I'm on good terms with him, but he is a mortifying individual to say the least. So
can I roll real quick for a code lore just to check something? Let me see what relevant things that I have. I'm sorry for interrupting. The most relevant would be Scholastic Lore Legend or Forbidden Lore Warp.
I'm going to say Scholastic Lore Legend, not so much Warp.
Okay.
But I want you to...
basically judging by the
I'm going to say
his reaction. I want to check whether that individual might be a blank.
No. But I was going to say you're going to do it with a minus 30 roll.
Well, that
so you
basically
don't pass at all. So.
Yeah.
So he goes. So he looks and goes, "Are you going to ask something, sir?"
I had a sneaking suspicion. However, I believe it might not be correct. So, negative.
Understandable. He should be arriving within the sector shortly, and we'll be aboard. And you'll be boarding his ship. I'm not going on that. But I suppose the name is important. So you will be meeting up with an Inquisitor, Luca Valentino. He is the head Inquisitor of the cruiser known as the Poisoned Heart. All I can say is he is a man that doesn't so much demand respect as expect it. So I really wish you don't speak to him the way you do to me or Harpak, if that is okay. I don't want to have to take one of you home in a coffin.
Wouldn't be surprised if they just fire us out into space.
It's possible, but yeah.
Any former incidents?
Scholastic Lore Legends.
Okay, you can do it at your Hey, you get it. So the name does strike familiar to you, and you start your mind starts going into... You're basically going into your mind palace right now, Sherlock style.
Yes.
It's deep void of knowledge.
And you start piecing together some things that happened. Luca Valentino is a relatively unheard of Inquisitor. He is mostly Puritan.
Oh no.
Based on the knowledge you have. However, when you start piecing together the name, you realise something very strange. It's the fact that he appears to be what inspired the imitators down on the planet you've just been on.
What, the same guy?
You know of people that have tried imitating his personality of grandeur and excessiveness. You recognise that the clowns are kind of taking up to his faux appearance.
Oh dear.
Oh, this does not bode well.
It's like he just looks at the boy. He goes, "Are you okay, boy? Your bucket kind of twiggled a little bit there."
Do you respond?
I would like to relay the information I just received in the most merciful of ways. Because I don't know how to say that. I mean, I guess we are fucked is a appropriate term, but hey!
Just like, boy, language, also what?
ancient Terran term for we are definitely going to go down like the last plane we flew down to the planet on.
May you please elaborate on that, Melvin?
Do I know any more? Because that is not exactly a lot to go on.
Unfortunately, the amount of knowledge you would have had access to this particular individual is limited. You
Is
would
that
not.
because I didn't roll well enough?
No, it's because he pretty. As far as the only other bit of knowledge you can have is that any time he has been on a mission, he has left absolutely zero trace of witnesses and or any evidence that he was there. The only reason you're aware of him is because you've had access to inquisitorial records as a part of your position, and you are at least on some. And because knowing you would have gone through these records as much as you can. You are on semi-familiar name terms with a lot of the Inquisitors that work within this sector.
I would like to go into detail with what I know. And then just hope that we're not going to stay too long in his company. I think that's a reason.
So you relay that to the party? Fair enough.
I'm going to relay that to the party in a more kinder way than I hope we're not going to die by this guy's hand.
I've done
More
some.
in that we're going to be fun. We're going to have a good time as long as we don't do anything off the record.
I have made a terrible thing.
Oh God.
Here you go.
What have you created?
I put it in general chat.
Oh no.
I'll put that on the stream real quick.
This is frighteningly accurate.
I see no difference between the
These
picture
two.
I drew.
These are the same picture.
These are the same.
That's the alarming part. Is I was putting it together and fuck.
It's the same picture.
Oh, dear.
Yep. This is true.
Yep.
Yep.
But yes. So you're relaying to us how terribly fucked we are by this Inquisitor.
We could
Same
be how terrible fuck we could be by this Inquisitor.
Oh dear.
I'm not saying it's a certainty, but
Oh dear.
Solomon kind of just looks at you and goes, I see you've been reading the records you are privy to.
I do.
Well, remember your please and thank yous when you speak to him. Let's see. Do what he says. Only speak when spoken to. Probably make sure you at least acknowledge what he's saying to you. Anyway, I've also have had another update as well. I need to remove this one second because he is not in here. There we go. Oh, I've moved some of the floor. Whoops. He goes. It looks like he goes. Due to the events that have happened and the particular agent in our care, Tobias has been removed from all current missions as of effective immediately.
Oh, we'll have a replacement?
Nope, you have been determined
We are on our own.
You have been determined capable to work without the means of a superior handler. Tobias will be returned to the Spear of Bitter Mercy at the next available time. However, due to its current conflict, he will be joining you onto the Poisoned Heart, and he will be remaining on there until further notice. Along with, the agent is going to be transferred into their medical facility, so that will be, thankfully, no longer our problem. At least, hopefully so. She'll be needing to be returned to the Spear of Bitter Mercy at some point as well. However, it's needless to say that It's a shame. I'm hoping, he's hoping, that you'll at least still be under my wing and I'll be able to take you to where you need to go. However, of course, even though I'm on good terms with this particular Inquisitor, I have no idea how he's going to determine whether or not how you conclude with your current mission. So, all I have to say is probably say any goodbyes you might have to any of the staff for the time being, because it might be a while before you see them again if you've grown too attached to any of them.
Oh, I was half expecting you to say that this might be the last time we ever have to see them.
Trust me. As soon as Harpak is finished with his engagement and can return to us, I'll be making sure that you're all back on the spear with me and away from this madman. Anyway.
This is quite a strong term you just used there.
Look. All I'm going to say, Harpak is a very reasonable individual. He comes off as an ass, but he's very reasonable. This one, there is no reasoning with him. You either do exactly what he tells you to do, or he kills you. Luckily, Harpak has seniority over him, so he at least outranks him for the time being. So count your eggs before they hatch, okay? Don't count your eggs before they hatch. And I think we'll call it there tonight.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Righto.
Okay, because it's an R&R session, I'm not going to provide any experience.
Mhm.
And
Shopping was done. All things were fun.
you've had some time to do your thing.
I made a shit post. It was worth it.
Just to say, Osiron, you haven't had
Yes.
enough. If you were curious, because I imagine you were, you just haven't had enough time for Octavian to finish his research, and that's why he hasn't.
That's fine.
contacted you yet.
That's fine, yeah.
That's for a future bit.
He has his old octopus strangling him right now.
Well, it's just the arm of an octopus.
Or it might have regenerated into a full octopus, you know? With the amount of genetic modification this thing underwent.
Octo Squad. Here we go.
I am going to guess then that I'm going to stop the stream. Thank you all for watching. And
It's been wonderful. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for tuning in.
Terrible people. We love you.
We'll see you when we see you. Ciao.
Yes.
Yeah, Necrons.